people think that it's where you can leave your child, okay, for someone to watch, okay, and come back at the end of the shift, get your child, go home. Then, but what really we are early learning.
This field has the most passionate people I've ever seen and flexible, and to be, you know, through COVID, there's things that were thrown at us, you know, and challenges that we faced, but always the child came first.
I think that I've come to a point where I see the need for the government to become involved in childcare because it's not happening otherwise. And it's not happening well or well enough.
Sometimes we haven't made it easy. And so what I really want us to pay attention to is what are the conditions that are needed for the early child educators to be the most successful. And I think what we haven't paid enough attention to is the need for what we call programming time, or at my agency we call non-contact time. So I want to pay really careful attention to the working conditions so that early child educators can remain inspired. And then what are the other professional learning opportunities? What are the resources? What are the ways that they get their cup filled up, for lack of a better term? So again, how do they, what is the time when they get to pause and reflect? Our sector should and has changed and evolved based on new information, new research. We want to integrate that into our practices, but where's the time to allow for that to happen effectively?
It's not just bringing children to childcare. We need to support staff. We need to train staff. We need to treat very well staff. We need to retain the staff.
What we've seen here is we became part of the Ministry of Education from the community services, and everyone thought, okay, that's great. Finally, you know, we're education. They recognize us as educator. And then they took millions of dollars and put it in the public school system for like pre-primary, right? So absolutely not servicing the needs of working families. I feel if they're going in public schools, they have to be designed and built. That means if you have a childcare in a public school, there needs to be soundproof walls so the young children aren't influenced by all the bells and announcements, that it has to be a purpose designed and built space. Like we've got the opportunity to say, children 0 to 5 deserve spaces designed and built for them, not popped into empty government buildings, empty school places.
If you are discussing you want to have centers open in schools, I have 2 out-of-school programs right now, and they were located in a school gym. The problem with that, of course, is during the non-school parts of the year, 2 months in the summer, as well as Christmas and holidays, school boards in our area will not let centers stay open. So that becomes a problem for families because then you're not being able to provide the care. Also, we need to talk about portables and places for these children to set up daycares. Most schools are older and they haven't got the facilities to be able to put in what's required if you're going to do infant, toddler, and all the way up to school age.
When I break it all down, what I want is for any individual that wants to have a job should not be held back from their job or their career due to the cost of childcare. And I will repeat many times, the cost of childcare contributes to a family's choice as to whether they work or not. And if that is not acknowledged, you are assuming that my choice is not to work, and that has bias.
And so we really have to pay attention to the quality and the capacity. And so as we're thinking about this $30 billion, I really hope that we're going to actually balance growth with affordability. Because if we just address the affordability piece, and please understand, it's so important, I get it, families are struggling. But if we just balance that piece, all we're going to do is frustrate more families who cannot access the system. So we need to make sure that as we're reducing fees, we're equally also expanding capacity. And again, that capacity could be happening in center-based group childcare, but also in licensed home childcare. And we can't forget also about in Ontario anyway, our early on structure as well, because that's another piece of our system of early learning and childcare.
I think the federal government's very common for saying it's up to the provinces to decide, but I think you're holding the dollars. You say no. Municipals, here is our framework. Here is the black and white, and then yes, take it to the municipalities and see what each community needs and service those needs. So I think a system that lets children be children and is really thoughtfully designed and built for children. To be able to design and build spaces, that should be a basic right for a child.